Welcome back to Beast.
Hey.
Oh, fudge.
Wait for me. I want to be part of the show too.
Fine, I will allow you to be a part of the show. Welcome back to Beast.
I am your host, Decepticon Doug.
And I am Predacon Park.
And today we are talking about Proving Grounds. This episode begins with a bunch of lines. Not just scripted lines, but curvy lines. It is Blackarachnia. They're just doing a big scan of her, trying to find, what is it called, the shell program?
Yeah.
That Tarantulas installed when he made Blackarachnia into a Predacon. And so they're like, well, there's the thing. Ratcap's like, oh, that's why you're still a Predacon. Eh.
And then she was all like, well, I'll choke you to death.
And then Cheetor's like, I love women. Oh, yeah. Cheetor's being a bit of a weird pervert. He gets like one, maybe two lines in this episode. 2 lines.
Yeah.
And
one of which is like
really pervy.
I really want to purr on your
necklace.
And then she's all like, I don't like you. And he's all like, oh, my feelings are hurt. Yeah, I don't like girls anymore.
Girls are gross.
And then him and Rat Trap skulk off together.
Because, they're being jerks, and then she called them jerks, and...
She was going to shoot him in the face.
Well, okay, she definitely took it to the next level, for sure.
I do like how Optimal's like, stand down. And she's like, screw you guys. And then she like...
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
That was a pretty good card.
Oh, thank you. And then she overhears Optimus and Rhinox talking, and they're like, so if we take out the shell program, she might die. She might fall down, go boom, and die. And die.
And they die.
And they die.
Which is like twice as bad as the regular dead. So we'll either lose her or she'll stay a Predacon forever. Well, that's too much of a risk to take.
But of course, Blackarachnia is a bit of a pessimist, so she takes it all the wrong ways. She's like, they would rather kill me than keep me a Predacon. That's it. I'm out of here.
They don't like my necklace.
So she has a secret exit that she gets out of, which is, kind of a nice touch. It definitely is true to her character.
I really like that.
Yeah. She's like, okay, I'm going that way. Evil Dinobot, Dinobot 2, some might even call him, or Transmetal 2 Dinobot.
He's even got a goatee.
The game is afoot. He follows her super stealthy like this.
And she's like not even like 100 yards away, and
there's nothing hiding him. There's like a completely clear land.
Yeah, it's like the salt flats, and then there's a tree line off in the distance. And he's just like, she'll never see me.
And she's like, but no, she never does actually see him until she gets into the forest and she starts talking to a butterfly. She has a really personal moment with this butterfly. She grabs a butterfly and she goes,
life's not fair, is it? You see, I shall never be king. And you shall never see the light of another day. Adieu.
You always play with your food.
She's like, I want to blow some steam. And then she sees Dinobot. She's like, I think I'm going to go pick a fight.
Or rather, I think Dinobot lets her see him. We all know that he's the master of stealth.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
like she never would have seen him unless he wanted her to.
Is that the wind? And so, that's exactly what she does. She jumps into the trees, starts swinging around like Tarzan. Kind of cool, actually.
Actually, more like Spider-Man.
It's true. Yeah, right. It's much more Spider-Man-y.
She even like web slings.
She grabs Dinobot with the web around his tail, hangs him upside down. That was easy. Clearly, he's defeated.
He is.
He's clearly.
She's got him by the tail.
So he's a goner for sure. And then she's about to point her legs and shoot him with those.
Which would finish him.
Yeah, he would be destroyed. He transforms, cuts himself down, and then she's like, whoopsie daisy, and then he starts shooting at her, and then the games begin.
And then we cut to Rat Trap playing a game that Mordo of the Deep neglected to bring to our attention.
Damn it, Mordo. What else is he keeping from us?
Jerk.
Yeah, and so Rat Trap's having a blast playing a Beast Wars video game, which is something that we are not familiar with.
Right as he's about to clear the level,
Silverbolt turns off Rat Trap's game. And
we've all been there.
Yeah, you know how it is. Your mom comes down, she's like, I told you, it's dinner time. Click. so Rattrap basically does that.
What he should have done was just pause the game and gone to eat dinner.
That's what, yeah. How hard could that be?
Bird Dog discovers that his beloved is heading suspiciously close to the jamming zone.
Into Predacon territory. So Rattrap's like, okay, well, obviously she's betraying us. I'm gonna go tell Optimus. And you know, Silverbolt's like,
Let's give her a chance.
let me go get her. She's my responsibility.
And Rattrap is like, no man, once a pred, always a pred. Silverbolt appeals to his maximal senses because, I mean, if anybody knows how to talk to another Predacon, it's Silverbolt. Because he was a Predacon once too.
He was. And during that time, we saw some ugly things. He also was like, hey, Rattrap, remember DINOBot? And Rattrap was like, you had to say DINOBot. Yeah. All right, go get her. Back in the forest, it's starting to be nighttime. T2 DINOBot is like, I got an idea, guys. I got this thing. It's a projector, and it's gonna trick her.
Yeah, it looks like he assembled it out of pieces of transmutate.
He like loads in the film, the 35mm film of himself doing a little
Ooh. I'm looking over my shoulder because she's going to be behind me.
And Blackarachnia jumps down and she's like, what, pew! She tries to shoot him, but it goes right through him.
Because he's a ghost.
Yes, it turns out it was an apparition the whole time.
Yep. There was a seance. Could you imagine Megatron and like
it's like Waspinator and Inferno.
Yeah. Doing a seance or whatever with like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Is there anyone here? Who's moving it? Is it you, royalty?
No, Inferno, no! So it's a hologram, guys. LOL. It's a hologram.
It's not really a ghost.
No, yeah, we tricked you. And that way Dinobot gets the drop on Blackarachnia. But she,
Gets the drop on him with a tree.
Yeah, she shoots.
No, she knocks the tree down on him first. And
So
steps, and then he chases her, knocking 2 trees on her.
Yeah, and then she gets trapped, but she gets her thing out, shoots the cyber venom in his face.
Oh no, it's the shoulder.
He's down, his shoulder is super damaged, and he's unconscious. So she starts calling for help, not even looking that weird Transmetal 2 healing thing comes out of his chest.
It's a tentacle.
It's like a massaging tentacle. It's like, ooh, let me fix this for you. I got it. Don't worry, I got it. And then he's all better.
Looks like you hurt your shoulder.
Let me get that for you. And rather than like sneaking up behind her and like taking off her head right then and there, he's like, you've made a lot of mistakes. It's not the first mistake you made. And doing his normal Predacon thing where he talks too much.
And then she transforms back into her beast mode and then runs off.
Yeah.
And then he sees her climbing up the side of a mountain and he's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you, you spider lady. Rattrap is playing Doom.
Yeah, he's like, killing all the Waspinators.
If he's not being actually scrapped, he's being digitally scrapped.
Optimus is like, hey, where's Silverbolt and where's Blackarachnia? And then Rattrap's like, I don't know. Brown-Ox is like, I don't know either.
He pushes the button. The Sentries don't know. And then Optimus is like, if we don't know, they're in the Raspberry Zone. And then he leaves.
And yeah, so he goes to find them. Blackarachnia is like, somebody help me, I have an owie, but it's not working. And Silverbolt shows up, and he's like, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. And she's like, watch out! And then Dinobot shoots Silverbolt. I got you now. And then he puts his laser right between Silverbolt's eyes. He's like, I'm gonna blow his head off if you don't come here and let me take your head off. So then Blackarachnia does the only thing that is logical in this situation, and she just shoots Silverbolt.
Yeah.
Well, she was knocking Silverbolt out of the way so that he wouldn't be able to blast his head off. So she's like, all right, you know what? This is between Predacons. And he's like, she's like, hey, why don't we team up? I have the coast to the Ark, and we don't need Megatron at all.
Because you're a Transmetal 2, and you're pretty badass.
Yeah.
And my brains and your brawn, we can rule the universe.
She's got the brains. He's got the looks. They can make lots of money.
I've got the brains, you've got the looks. Let's make lots of money.
But don't worry, Silverbolt is there, and he's like, I'm gonna get you. And he's like, oh, but I'm gonna get you. So he goes in to slash Silverbolt, but guess what?
Now!
Bam! Shoots Dinobot off the cliff, but he's getting up. He's like, oh yeah? And then he gets that triple blast of cyber venom again in the face. He falls off the cliff and goes kaboom.
More like a plow.
I don't think so. It's like a boom 100%.
So Silverbolt is like, I am not in fact a ghost.
I was just using the hologram. Ha ha ha. I'm not going home.
He's like, no, seriously, you should come home because...
No!
But we got some humping to do.
It's like, it's been a long time.
He starts whining like a dog.
Look, Optimus and Rhinox are talking about unplugging my plug to make sure I'm not a Predacon anymore. And someone's like, no, they wouldn't do that.
I was there. Were you there?
Optimus is coming. Blackarachnia's like, peace. And he's like, no, you don't. And he bear hugs her. He's like, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. And she's like, I'm gonna go. Ah! Then she turns around, she headbutts him, and he falls unconscious. And she's like, ha! And then she falls unconscious. And they're just sort of getting their gears back in order as Optimus lands. He's like, okay, good job, guys.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys look like scrap.
Silverbolt tries to like cover for her, but she's like, no, don't cover for me. I heard you guys were gonna scrap me because you don't like that I'm a Predacon.
So you know what? I don't want to be part of the club anymore. Megatron's got a juice bar.
I'm just like, that damn juice bar again. He's like, hey, no, tell me all wrong. We just worded things in a particular way that it left it ambiguous if anyone was listening.
Yeah, especially the audience.
Yeah.
And she was like, what audience?
He's like, right to us. He's like, no. We're only gonna do it if you choose to, because we're nice guys.
It's the Maximal way.
Then they all transform and fly home, and everyone's happy except for DInobot, who presumably has fallen into the bushes and has a rock stabbed in his chest.
Yeah.
The end. So, Predacon Paul. By the way, nice shirt.
Thanks, man. I got these off of some website, I think.
Ripped Apparel.
I got them off of Ripped Apparel.
Nice.
Thanks, Doug. I got it from him.
Not sponsored by Ripped Apparel.
No, but if you are looking for these t-shirts, give them a check out.
Check
them out.
What worked for you?
I really like the fact that they're going deeper into the whole Blackarachnia thing. I would have liked it if they didn't just pull this device just out of nowhere.
The shell program?
The shell program. It looks like a piece of hardware that's inside her abdomen. There wasn't any indication that he had made any physical augmentations to the protoform when they got it. It was just he programmed her, found her a new beast mode, and then she's everything we could desire, and then she came out and she was like,
But it's not out of character for Tarantulas to just like cover his bases and stuff like that. But what I do appreciate about this is that this is mentioning it before it becomes something that is more important to his later story. This is kind of building up towards something.
yeah,
So-
and I like the something that it built up to.
Like it has payoff later, which I appreciate. It's not just this thing that's kind of out of nowhere and never mentioned again. Like, sorry, Blackarachnia, you definitely have breast cancer.
I got the results of the test back. I definitely have breast cancer.
Look, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. They're curing lots of people every day.
Yeah, so
Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. I really like the idea that she is having this internal conflict. She feels that she's proven herself to the Maximals, and because she feels like she's being betrayed by them, she takes off. The heck with this. These guys are just going to try to scrap me. Because she's a Predacon, she has this misunderstanding about how they do things in the Maximal camp.
because if you think about the way the Predacon bases run, everyone is trying to stab each other in the back all the time. Like,
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Unless they're like literally brain damaged like Inferno.
They were so like almost forcibly ambiguous with their phrasing. Like, could you have tried any harder to like mislead the audience? But we all know, right? Like
Yeah,
the
we-
audience isn't fooled.
We know Optimus. And we
Yeah.
know Rhinox. We know they're not gonna like strap her down and go like, all right, you're Maximal now. Get the tassels. She's like, I've been saying no to the tassels for ages.
Please tell me, what did you like a lot?
so much-
Decepticon guy.
Thank you so much, Predacon Paul, for asking. I was just itching to tell you. I actually like Silverbolt in this. Sometimes he's insufferable, but this one he actually he carried himself well. He was still true to his character. The relationship between him and Blackarachnia wasn't like frustrating, like it was sort of in Cutting Edge, where he's like, if my lady is in trouble, I must go protect her or whatever. In this case, he was very responsible. He's like, okay, hold on, let me try and handle this situation. She's my responsibility. I'll go get her. He was very mature. He was very, very on the mark. He did everything right,
Yeah.
actually. So I'm pretty impressed.
One of the things also sort of springboarding off of that that I liked about it was also the fact that not only did she misunderstand their intentions, right, but so did Silverbolt even though he believes in her, misunderstood the reasoning behind her leaving. And it came down to her saying, like, you don't even trust me. He wasn't like, my lady, blah, 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 blah. He was just like, no, just, you misunderstand. And he's trying to reason with her instead of trying to appeal to the side of her that he thinks is...
Yeah, he's not like, but I think you're in her maximal goodness.
Yeah, he's just trying to, like, appeal to her common sense. Like, listen, no one's going to try to scrap you. I especially love how she, like, headbutts him. She's like, I've had it. Boom! She headbutts him. Because it's so her.
You know, it's true. It's like it totally builds off of stuff from before. Like the fact that she shoots him and then she bashes his head in, and yeah, it's very them. You know.
Yeah.
I like that this was a bit of a character building episode for DINOBot 2 as well. Yeah, you know, he was just introduced in the last episode, and
his ninja stealthiness knows no.
There's no bounds. Yes, well, that's true. Is that like his beast mode especially? He's kind of a clunky design. The way they make him walk is like. I like the look of it, and I like his robot mode quite a bit. But yeah, the movements, I find them kind of funny because it looks like he's waddling a bit like a penguin, like it was some dangerous penguin. But you know, I guess raptors did evolve into birds.
That's true.
Yeah. So
in fact, it is a well-known fact that the penguin is a descendant of the velociraptor.
it's true, a direct descendant. It was interesting seeing him, you know, Mr. Powerful, the new heavy hitter of the Predacon team. Versus, actually, like, power-wise, a pretty lightweight Maximal. Well, Maximal team member.
Yeah.
Blackarachnia.
Don't call her a Maximal, dude.
I know. She doesn't like that. Yeah, she's a lightweight, essentially. She's very tiny. She's got firepower, but just compared to him, it's not a lot.
Her firepower is kind of different. His is firepower, and hers is more like venom.
The light guns aren't super useful against him, but the cyber venom is. But again, that's more of an invention than it is... a regular like piece of her arsenal.
Really?
I always thought that the cyber venom was just something that like her and Tarantulas kind of put together. But you know, maybe I'm wrong.
All right, you get no argument from me.
It's interesting that like there are some weapons that are kind of built into their forms when they're made, and then there's other weapons that are.
But they have like weapons that complement the type that they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Optimus has those two double-barreled things, and then the interceptors, and you know he's a silverback gorilla. They're heavy hitters, and those are impact weapons, right? Whereas Quick Strike and like the spiders, they've got this sort of like venomous sort of like quality to their weapons. Mm-hmm. Inferno has a flamethrower, and he's a fire ant. Each weapon loadout seems to sort of complement the type of beast form that they have.
That's true. So maybe the cyber venom is built in. I don't know. It was never really said. Just the fact that there's an interesting balance of arsenal and like the fact that she's very crafty and she's able to swing around in trees and crawl all over things, and he just like crashes through stumps and stuff like that. Like he's just a powerhouse.
In his approach to attacking her, it shows how crafty he is too, but it also shows how cocky he is. Because he shoots those two plasma bolts, and at any time he could have just shot her in the back.
It's true. It's a common Predacon problem. So for things that didn't work, there's a few character moments in the very beginning of the episode. I thought that they perved up Cheetor way too much. Like, why? Like, he's all like, it's like, dude, get a grip. The way Cheetor is kind of characterized, it's not very much in this episode, but even since he turned Transmetal 2...
I think it's because he's the angsty teenager now.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never thought of Cheetor as a teenager. I thought of him as like a young adult, and so it almost feels like a character's like step back. He was like the young plucky guy, they're all seasoned veterans, except he's like 21.
He's green.
Alright guys, I guess I'm gonna go around and prove myself. Now they did take this sort of like teen approach of like, oh Optimus, you're embarrassing me, but it actually comes across as less mature than he had been so far.
Actually, I think back fondly to a lot of our criticisms about Reckless Cheetor. And then there's the episode, I think it was the one with
the Spark.
The Spark, yeah. Where he really pulled through, and you're just like damn, Cheetor. He risked life and limb. He couldn't even fight in robot mode for too long without overloading his circuits and permanently damaging them because he gave his life or whatever rectifier coil or something to AirRaiser. Yeah, the locking chip.
Yeah.
So he was forced to think on his feet, and it showed how A, adaptable he has become, and B, how much he matured. He was no longer the green, plucky, like super eager to please and prove himself kind of character. Like what you're saying, he takes a step back because they changed his character.
They decided to take a puberty angle
because of the hair and
and I
like girls now.
It actually took away from his arc. Back to the web.
Yeah.
You know, that's minor stuff just at the beginning. So the setup is a little bit flimsy. Overall, like the story works. I think that they underutilize that hologram thing. You know, like they kind of set it up as if it's going to be a big deal, but it's just a little bit like it's used. It's not like they just like set it up and then drop it. Yeah, you know, like did this episode need a hologram gizmo? Like, what is it about it that really gave DINobot the advantage over her? It just kind of tricked her into shooting the wrong thing.
And then he announced himself anyways. He's like, haha, you shot the wrong thing, you fell for it.
Whatever, it is what it is. I don't hate it. I just sort of like, hey, they could have done it better.
Something about their little game of cat and mouse seemed kind of forced or incomplete. Maybe it was because Silverbolt came and saved the day. Because for it to truly have been like a test of her skill and her mettle versus Dinobot's, I think she should have been the one to defeat him.
She did give him the final blast to the face, but it was really Silverbolt.
It was Silverbolt who tricked him, right?
Yeah.
With his own gizmo.
Anything else we need to touch on?
I don't think so. The episode was okay, and it definitely was nice in that it set up some bigger questions in the future.
It's a good character episode, which I feel is lacking a lot in Season 3, so to have one, it's actually kind of nice, because it kind of has a bit of a Season 1 feel, in that it's sort of an episode that gives the series some time to breathe, and those are so few and far between that it was actually kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, it's not filler, because it does establish some stuff, but it's not like, they're not introducing a new bot.
It asks some nice questions about Blackarachnia.
Yeah.
And her relationship with the Maximals. But all in all, I'm not terribly impressed with the episode, and I don't know why.
Because it's also like just not amazing. It's not like a great episode. It's just like, hey, you're like, hey, you know what, that was pretty good. Predacon, Paul and I, we saw eye to eye very quickly, and that we're going to give Proving Grounds 3.5 out of 5 Total Recall-esque projectors.
He's the real Quaid.
It's not a nice, solid, slightly above average episode, you know? It does the trick. That's where this episode really excels, is the Blackarachnia stuff. She delivers.
100%.
And also, hey, you get to see Radtrap play Doom, so there's that.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for watching Beast Wars Wendy. Please like, subscribe, and do all those internet-y things that everyone asks you to do. What are your thoughts on Proving Grounds? Please let us know in the comments down below.
We know you will.
We know you will. And
As always, tell your mom.
Wow, 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 wow. Yeah.
And then they had angry Robosex.
Yes, as they so often do.